ಜಾತಿ ದಿರುಳ್ಮುಗೆ ಆದಕಾದತಕ ವಶಾಗೆ ಮಾಹೌಲಾ ಸೀದಾ ಗುಳುಂ ಹುರಿ ಬಲಿತ ನಿಗುತುಂ ಕೇಂ ಬೊಯ್ಮುಗೆ ನುರಂಗಳು ಆದತಕ ಹೆಲಿಫೆಲಿವೆಗಳು ಮದೂಮಾ ದುಂಫತ್ ಕೇಸ್ತಿಮಾಲ್ ಕುರುಂ ಅದಿ ರಾಬುಯಿಂ ಫದ ಆದಕಾದತಂ ಹಿಮೆನೆ
Making headlines this hour, President Dr. Mohammad Moez extends his congratulations and encouragement to the Maldives national football team currently competing in the South Asian Super Cup 2025. The government prepares to unveil a far-reaching national development strategy, Vilunteri Raj 2045, translated as Resilient Maldives 2045 in January 2026. And the government commences the collection of security deposits for completed residential flats under the Gedolveria housing scheme, marking a critical step toward the handover of 4,000 newly built flats in Hulumale. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to PSM News in English with me, Hafiz Abdul Sattar. Now the news in detail. President Dr. Mohammad Moez extends his congratulations and encouragement to the Maldives national football team currently competing in the South Asian Super Cup 2025. His message was conveyed in a telephone call to the team's head coach, Muhammad Shiaz, following their commanding 3-0 victory in the tournament's opening match. The president praised the squad's performance in Saturday's fixture, urging the players to remain focused and resolute as they progress through the competition. According to a statement by the President's office, he highlighted the importance of unity and national pride, encouraging the team to pursue distinguished honors and elevate the reputation of Maldivian football. Coach Shiaz reflected on the call, described the President's outreach as a powerful source of motivation. He affirmed the team's commitment to meeting the expectations set forth and expressed confidence in their ability to deliver strong performances in the matches ahead. With their opening win, the Maldives national team enters the second leg of the tournament, scheduled for Tuesday, with a strategic 3-goal advantage. Beyond the tournament, President Moez's administration has outlined a broader initiative aimed at revitalizing football across the country. Central to this effort is the development of a new sports infrastructure in Male and across various atolls, designed to strengthen athletic programs and restore the sport's prominence nationwide. The government prepares to unveil a far-reaching national development strategy, Vilunteri Raj 2045, translated as Resilient Maldives 2045, in January 2026. The plan, which spans 2 decades, is the result of a comprehensive consultation process and expert-led formulation. Full implementation is anticipated by June of the same year. Conceived as a blueprint for long-term transformation and strategy, outlines a unified vision for national progress through 2045. The development plan addresses projected changes in population, lifestyle, environmental conditions, infrastructure, and technology. The framework is intended to guide successive governments in a coordinated pursuit of sustainable development. Public engagement has been central to the plan's development, beginning with the nationwide consultation campaign launched by the government, which opened with a public consultancy session on inhabited islands under the banner Kurimagusalla, translated as Future Dialogue. Guradu in Kaf Atoll served as the pilot site, where the Resilient Maldives team gathered feedback from local institutions and residents. Additional visits to other atolls are scheduled to follow. Oversight of the plan's formulation has been entrusted to Nexia Maldives, a local consultancy firm operating independently under government supervision. According to Nexia Maldives, 10 teams will be dispatched across the country to facilitate dialogue with communities and stakeholders. The consultation phase is expected to cover all 180 inhabited islands within approximately 3 weeks of commencement. Engagement extends beyond local communities, with government ministries, political parties, institutions, and civil society organizations actively contributing to the process. The information gathering phase is projected to conclude by mid-October, after which a high-level symposium will convene. There, the collected data and public input will be presented to inform the drafting of the strategy. To refine the plan's contents, Nexia Maldives will collaborate with a 5-member panel of international experts. The group includes a specialist in financial, economic, demographic, and environmental analysis. Their work will culminate in the initial inauguration of the draft strategy in January 2026. Following its release, the draft will be opened for public review. Before receiving legal authority, the government intends to seek public approval of the plan's contents. Final adoption and full implementation of Resilient Maldives 2045 are scheduled for June 2026, marking the conclusion of a rigorous and participatory planning process. The Food and Hospitality Asia Maldives FHAM International Exhibition and Culinary Challenge 2025 opens, marking a significant moment for the island nation's hospitality and culinary sectors. The 3-day event held at Hulumale Central Park was inaugurated by Mohammed Saeed, Minister of Economic Development and Trade. After officiating the ceremony, Minister Saeed toured the exhibition grounds, speaking with participants and exhibitors. Organized by Divehi Expo Services and CDC Events, this year's exhibition has drawn more than 150 exhibitors from countries including Germany, the United States, the United Arab Emirates, China, India, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, and Singapore. Organizers report that over 7,000 international brands are on display, with more than 100 new products expected to launch during the event. Among the exhibition's key attractions is the Culinary Challenge, which features chefs and culinary professionals from over 20 nations. The competition highlights technical skill and creative expression across the cultures. A newly introduced category, Tea Sommeliers, focused on the craft of tea preparation, reflecting the beverages rising prominence in the hospitality industry. The exhibition spans a wide range of offerings from food production, technologies and hotel equipment to spa and wellness products, as well as safety and security solutions. The government commences the collection of security deposits for completed residential flats under the Gedorveria housing scheme, marking a critical step toward the handover of 4,000 newly built flats in Hulumale. The Fahidiriulung Corporation FTC, which oversees the scheme's implementation, has opened its online portal to facilitate payments. Beneficiaries who have finalized their housing agreements are now being contacted to complete the deposit process. According to FTC officials, the current phase targets flats where construction has reached full completion. FTC also highlighted that the deposit procedure will mirror the accessibility and efficiency of the agreement signing process. Recent figures released by the corporation show that agreements have been scheduled with 3,088 parties, with 3,032 already signed. FDC has set a goal to complete all 4,000 agreements by the end of September, underscoring the scale and urgency of the undertaking. The handover of apartment keys is contingent on three conditions: the signing of the agreement, registration of the flat for utility services, and payment of the stipulated security deposit. The government has set deposit amounts at $972.76 for two-bedroom apartments and $1,621.26 for three-bedroom flats. According to FTC, these payments must be made in full, though no specific deadline has been announced. Adjustments to the scheme's rental structure have also been introduced. Initially, monthly rents were set at $842.78 for three-bedroom units and $583.73 for two-bedroom units. A subsequent policy decision introduced subsidies for tenants who make regular payments, reducing monthly rents to $583.73 and $453.85 respectively. The measure is designed to ease financial pressure on residents and encourage consistent payment behavior. The Bank of Maldives, BML, significantly increases its allocation of US dollars to the private sector this year, a shift attributed to sweeping financial reforms introduced by President Dr. Mohamed Moises' administration. The move reflects a broader effort to stabilize foreign currency reserves and ease pressure on import-dependent businesses. Between January and August 2025, the bank sold approximately $73 million to businesses, fulfilling between 30% and 50% of total dollar request. In comparison, only $69 million was disbursed throughout 2024, meeting just 5% to 10% of demand. This turnaround follows the enactment of a new foreign currency law, which came into effect on 1st January. Under the legislation, companies earning revenue in US dollars, particularly those in the tourism sector, are required to exchange or deposit a portion of their earnings into domestic banks. The measure has strengthened national reserves and increased foreign currency inflows from tourism, a cornerstone of the Maldivian economy. The Maldives Monetary Authority MMA has also pointed to a $400 million currency swap agreement with the Reserve Bank of India RBI as a key contributor to the country's improved reserve position. Under the provisions of the new law, 30% of the dollars received are allocated for public use through the banking system. In tandem with this, targeted measures have been introduced to expand foreign currency support for businesses, particularly medium-sized enterprises. These include increased access to telegraphic transfer facilities and direct dollar assistance to facilitate the import of essential goods. The SME Development Finance Corporation SDFC introduces a new Islamic soft loan scheme, Tijara Rashafatur, aimed at boosting local tourism activities for small and medium enterprises, SMEs.
The announcement comes amid plans for the government to sell its stake in the corporation to the Bank of Maldives, or BML, a move intended to enhance the digital transformation of MSME banking in the country. SDFC confirmed that the loan is now available for application through its SME portal. The scheme is designed to finance a wide range of tourism-related businesses with a maximum loan amount of up to $324,254. The financing is available vehicle for the construction, renovation, or development of guest houses, while it can also be used to launch or expand tourism activities such as restaurants, cafes, and water sports, or to incorporate technology into business operations. The loan offers a repayment period of up to 10 years with a grace period of 18 months. With an annual financing rate of 9.5%, a mortgage will be required for loan amounts or total exposures exceeding $45,396. The scheme operates under Islamic Sharia principles, a feature that STFC and future owner BML have emphasized. Established on the 18th of March 2019, STFC was founded to provide essential financing for small and medium enterprises across various key sectors. Since its inception, the institution, also known as SME Bank, has issued loans for businesses, tourism, commerce, fisheries, transportation, manufacturing, construction, information technology, and agriculture. The corporation's ownership is now set to shift, with the government deciding to sell its stake to BML. The strategic sale, approved by the cabinet after reviewing a proposal from the Ministry of Finance and Planning, is intended to leverage BML's strong financial footing and expanding digital banking expertise. Upon acquiring STFC, BML has committed to several key initiatives to ensure a seamless transition and enhanced service delivery for MSMEs. BML has pledged to issue $32.43 million in local currency in loans in the first year after the acquisition, with a target of $123.24 million over 5 years, along with Sharia-compliant financing, digital banking systems, and stable interest rates. The transition is expected to further strengthen financial capabilities for MSMEs and extend digital financing services across the country through BML's extensive network.
National carrier Maldivian announces the launch of seasonal flight services to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and Bangkok, Thailand, in response to anticipated travel demand during the upcoming school holiday period. The flights will operate throughout December and January, with ticket bookings now open. Round-trip fares have been set at $355 for Kuala Lumpur and $399 for Bangkok. Flights to Kuala Lumpur are scheduled every Sunday from 21st December through 11th January. Services to Bangkok will depart each Tuesday beginning 23rd December and concluding 13th January. The airline stated that these routes are designed to offer travelers convenient access to two of the Southeast Asia's most frequented destinations during the holiday season. Maldivian has previously implemented similar seasonal services, particularly to Malaysia, as part of a recurring strategy to accommodate peak travel periods. Tickets may be purchased via airline's official website or mobile application. The airline advises for booking assistance or additional information. Passengers may contact Maldivian's 24-hour call center at 1671. Alphabet's Google.org, Google was hit with a $3.45 billion EU antitrust fine on 5th September for anti-competitive practices in its lucrative ad tech business, marking its fourth penalty in its decade-long fight with EU competition regulators.
The move by the European Commission was triggered by a complaint from the European Publishers Council and comes amid a threat by U.S. President Donald Trump to retaliate against the European Union for any push against big tech. The EU competition enforcer had originally planned to hand out the fine, but opposition from EU Trade Chief Maroš Šefčovič on concerns about the impact on U.S. tariffs on European cars derailed EU Antitrust Chief Teresa Ribera's plan. The commission said Google favored its own online display technology services to the detriment of rivals and online publishers, and that it abused its market power since 2014. It ordered Google to stop these self-preferencing practices and take measures to seize its inherent conflicts of interest. The company has 60 days to inform the commission how it plans to comply with this order. The commission reiterated its preliminary view that Google should divest part of its services, but said it wants to first hear and assess Google's compliance efforts. Google criticized the EU decision and said it would challenge it in court.
Ukrainian officials says Russia's largest overnight air attack of the war sets the main building of the Ukrainian government in Kiev on fire and left 3 people dead, including an infant whose body was pulled from the rubble.
Media witnesses saw the top floor of the main building of the Ukrainian government, located in the prehistoric Pyechersky district, burning with thick smoke rising into the clear blue sky just after sunrise. Ukraine's Prime Minister Yulia Sviridenko said on the Telegram messaging app that for the first time since the start of the full-scale invasion, a government building was damaged, including its roof and upper floors. Ukraine's Air Force said on Telegram that Russia launched 805 drones into Ukraine overnight and 13 missiles, with Ukrainian defense units downing 751 drones and 4 missiles. That was the highest number of drones Russia had used to attack the country since Moscow launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022.
French driver Pierre Gasly signs a contract extension with Alpine until the end of the 2028 season, the renowned Formula One team announces at the Italian Grand Prix.
Alpine are last in the constructor standings after 15 of 24 rounds, and Gasly scored all of their 20 points so far with a highest placing of 6th in Britain. A race winner with victory at the 2020 Italian Grand Prix with Red Bull owner AlphaTauri, the former F2 champion joined Alpine in 2023. Gasly said the support of team leader Flavio Briatore and the commitment of newly appointed Renault CEO Francois Provost, as well as the factory staff, had made it a natural decision. Briatore, who led the team to titles when they raced as Benetton in the 1990s and then Renault in the early 2000s, referred to Gasly as the lead driver. Gasly has had 2 teammates this season, with Australian Jack Doohan replaced by Argentine Franco Colapinto after 6 races. There is lingering uncertainty over who will partner with the Frenchman next season. Formula One is entering a new engine era in 2026 with considerable rules upheaval, but Briatore said Alpine were well prepared. Alpine will switch to Mercedes engines next year, the same used by the Works team, reigning champions McLaren and Williams.
Palestine 36 premieres at the Toronto International Film Festival, exploring Palestine in 1936 setters under the British Mandate, and as Jews fleeing Europe establish footholds near the sometimes on Arab land.
The film is set nearly a century in the past, but feels almost mercilessly contemporary, with its Palestinian protagonists fighting for their rights while beset by encroaching settlers and a harsh colonial power. When and whether to resist, what resistance should look like, and what price it exacts become contested questions. Actor Billy Howell, who plays a British diplomat, said while making this film he was acutely aware of British accountability and the mess that was made in 1936 and what that means for the British conscience today. Stop! The film's messaging is potent but not subtle. One character says to another, quote, "Perhaps you should consider which side of history you want to be upon," unquote. Over 119 minutes, the film tells its viewers the same thing. Its material echoes in the present. Nearly 2 years into Israel's bombardment of Gaza, more than 64,000 Palestinians have been killed, local health authorities say, with much of the enclave reduced to ruins and its residents facing a famine, according to international observers. Israel's actions in Gaza have been called a genocide by scholars and rights groups, including some from Israel.
We always talk about 1948. This is 12 years before that. So I wanted to address that past, but it was always a very contemporary story for me. I never wanted it to feel like something of the past. But all those repercussions, I mean, it sets the stage for everything we know today, but everything has repercussions and echoes today, right now, definitely 2 years ago, definitely 8 years ago when I started writing the project.
Alongside stars including Jeremy Irons and Hiam Abbas, known for her role in Succession, Saleh Bakri plays a Palestinian who feels compelled to fight back. He said people may feel they have no choice but to resist. Watermelon Pictures has the distribution rights in the US and Canada for the film, which is Palestine's Oscar submission this year.
There will be no water dispensed without my permission, I'm afraid. You.
And that's all we have for this hour. Thank you for watching. Wish you all a very pleasant time ahead.